Hello, I'm Gardner, and today I would like to talk about young adults and saving for retirement. Firstly, though, I would like to apologize about the size of my presentation. However, it is all I have to work with at the moment. Now, according to the Young Adult and Workplace Wellness Survey, only 52% of young adults say they are confident in retiring at the age they want. It is evident that young adults are unsure about the future of their retirement, and rightfully so. Properly planning a retirement account can be stressful, intimidating, and challenging as there's much to learn. I am upset that young adults are unsure how to properly start saving for retirement. Because of that, I'll propose 4 solutions to help set young adults on the right path to saving for retirement. Now, before I dive into the 4 solutions on how to properly save for retirement, I would like to talk about my own experience in setting up my plan for retirement. Now, at 16 years old, I got my first job at Sheets. Of course, the idea of a paycheck was foreign to me, and I was a young kid, so spending money was basically all I did. I would buy a bunch of computer parts and a bunch of video games. Now, fast forwarding 3 years to where I am now at 19, and looking back, some of these financial decisions have maybe not been that smart. Now, at this age, I've decided I want to start planning for my future, mainly in the sense of retirement. With that in mind, I looked at Thrivent.com's Roth IRA calculator. Now, what this website does is, given an investment each year until retirement, it will calculate how much money you would have saved for retirement. So, inputting the numbers, $5,000 each year until 65, starting at 19, with a regular savings account, I would have $1 million. While this seems like a lot of money, and it is, in comparison to a Roth IRA retirement account, I would have had $1,700,000. A $700,000 difference in money when saved for retirement, depending on which account you chose. Now, keeping that money in a savings account would obviously seem foolish, a $700,000 difference, right? Now, for me, this was a shocking revelation, as I'd kept my money in a savings account for the past 3 years from all the time I've worked at Sheets. With that in mind, I decided it was time for me to start doing my research and start properly saving for retirement. Firstly, I decided it was time for me to start learning how to budget. I wanted to start allocating my money towards saving for retirement. Secondly, I decided it was time to start reducing my spending. For me, that meant less video games and less computer parts. Thirdly, after solidifying those 2 previous goals, I decided that it was time for me to select a retirement account. In my case, it was a Roth IRA retirement account through Vanguard, which is an online brokerage company. And then fourth and finally, with that retirement account and the money I had saved up, I decided it was time for me to start investing in that retirement account. For me, I chose exchange-traded funds as my main investment type, which I'll explain later in the presentation. Now, moving on to our first solution, it is learning how to budget. Now, according to the article, Most Americans Have a Monthly Budget, but Many Still Overspend by NerdWallet, a study done of 2,000 US adults ages 18 and older found that nearly 3/4 of them had a budget. Now, budgeting is important because it helps you allocate and put money towards a specific goal or your needs. In our case, this would be something like retirement. You want to allocate a certain percentage of your income towards saving for retirement. Now, one simple way to start saving for retirement is using the 50-30-20 budgeting rule. Now, the 50-30-20 budgeting rule follows putting 50% of your income towards your needs. This is stuff like mortgages, rent, and groceries, your necessities. And then 30% is put towards wants. For me, this would be computer parts and video games. And then finally, 20% of your monthly income is then put towards savings. Savings includes stuff, most importantly for us, retirement, and then stuff like paying down debt. Now, once again, it is important to save for retirement by using a budget, as it helps you save money to put towards retirement, as you can specifically allocate a certain percentage or a certain amount of money towards a goal. Now, moving on to our second solution to properly saving for retirement, it is learning to control your spending. Now, according to the same article by NerdWallet, 83% of Americans say they overspend. And then a similar percentage, 84% in this case, say that even though they have a budget, they still overspend. Now, this would make it evident that just having a budget will not really help you save for retirement, but combining learning to budget and controlling your spending will help you. Now, an article by the US News titled "The Psychology of Overspending and How to Stop" has stated that many reasons young adults or Americans in general often overspend is because they lack a plan or a decision-making process when they make purchases. So to help control your spending, you should make a plan when you make purchases. One simple way to do this would be firstly creating a shopping list. This means you have a set list of what you want to buy and you try and avoid going past that list. Secondly, would be setting a limit when you go shopping. This would be more for casual shopping. If you say you want to buy something fun, you say, I only want to spend this amount of money. And then thirdly, would just simply be practicing living frugally. This means trying to live below your means and generally try and just buy what you need and nothing more. Once again, following this rule will help you save money for retirement while also reinforcing good money-saving habits. Now, moving on to our third solution. After you've solidified the previous two and saved up some money, it is time to select a retirement account that fits your needs and goals. The retirement accounts I would like to talk about are a traditional and a Roth IRA retirement account. Now, according to How Does an IRA Grow Over Time by Investopedia, 37% of US households had an IRA in 2021. Now, the question that comes up though is, what is an IRA? Now, according to investor.gov, an individual retirement account provides tax advantages for retirement savings. You contribute a certain amount of money to that account each year, so much so that the IRS allows. Now, what does this mean? It means that these accounts are specifically designed for retirement and saving for it. Basically, you can contribute or invest a certain amount of money into that account each year, as much as the IRS allows. Now, when moving on to the two different types I will discuss, which once again were traditional and Roth IRA accounts, while they serve a similar purpose in helping you save for retirement, there are some key differences, mainly in how they are taxed. Now, with a traditional IRA, firstly, when money is contributed or invested into that account, that money is made with pre-tax dollars. That means this money has not been taxed yet when put into that account. However, with a Roth IRA, the money invested or contributed into that account has already been taxed, is made with post-tax dollars. Now, this is the difference when contributing money. However, there are also differences when you withdraw money at retirement. Now, with a traditional IRA, when money is withdrawn, it is subject to income tax. So while it wasn't taxed putting the money in, it was taxed when taking it out. In comparison, a Roth IRA is not subject to income tax when withdrawn at the age of retirement. So basically, when this money was put in, it was taxed in a Roth IRA, but then it isn't taxed when withdrawn. It is also important to note that with both of these accounts, because they are designed to save for retirement, withdrawing money before the age of retirement, which is typically 65, will result in a penalty. Now, luckily, opening these retirement accounts is relatively simple. This can be done through an insurance company, a mutual fund company, a brokerage company, a bank, as well as online brokerage companies like Vanguard, which I personally used and mentioned earlier, as well as one like Fidelity, among many others. Now, moving on to our fourth and final solution. Once you have selected a retirement account and saved money for that retirement account using the previous two solutions, it is time to start investing that money through that retirement account. Now, investments with a retirement account have various different types. For example, there's exchange-traded funds, which I personally use. There's also mutual funds, index funds, stocks, and bonds, among various others. It's important to note that different investment types will often serve your goals better than another one might. So this is often dependent on, one, your willingness to take risks. So different investments will be riskier, they'll fluctuate more on the market, whereas some might be more stable and gradually grow. Excuse me. And then the other source that changes these two investment types would be your long-term goals. Now, some investments are going to be more short-term, they're going to make you money quicker, but over the long term they might lose money. In comparison, there are others that are more designed for retirement, once again being safer, designed to grow over time. Now, a specific retirement investment I would like to talk about are exchange-traded funds, which once again I personally use in my investment account for retirement. Now, according to another article by NerdWallet, an exchange-traded fund or an ETF is a basket of investments like stocks or bonds. Now, what does this mean? It means that ETFs are basically a collection of a percentage of stocks from various companies. So basically, one ETF might hold various different companies' stocks in it. Now, the main selling point of ETFs and the main use for them often is diversification. Basically, this means that in the stock market, this one share of this ETF is exposed to many different markets and sectors in many different companies. Because you're exposed to many different markets and sectors instead of one, it reduces your risk. Now, one way to make this an example would be through the Vanguard S&P 500 Growth ETF. Now, this is an exchange-traded fund that I myself also invest in. Now, while it is difficult to see from this bar graph or the circle graph presented by the ETF Research Center, this single share of the Vanguard S&P 500 Growth ETF is made up of 11 different sectors. That means it is in all kinds of different markets. This includes energy, technology, securities, staples, among various others. And then even further, as provided by Vanguard themselves, in each single share of this ETF, there are 233 stocks in it, or a percentage of those 233 stocks from various different companies. So one way to compare this is if you had all your investments in a single stock versus an exchange-traded fund, if that one stock crashes, you lose all of your money in that account. However, with an ETF, because it is spread out among various different markets and companies, even if that single stock crashes, however, depending on how much it makes up of that ETF, it'll decrease in value more, but it won't completely crash. Now, in conclusion, young adults must start saving for retirement. They can do so by 1. Learning how to budget, 2. Controlling their spending, 3. Selecting a retirement account that fits their needs and goals, and then 4. Selecting investments in that retirement account that also fit their needs and goals. Let's make it 100% of young adults that are confident in saving for retirement at the age they want. Thank you.